everybody, my name is Isaac from grade 6 and today I'm going to be talking about my math big project. So first I'm going to tell you what we did for the math big project. For our math big project, Mr. Freddy told us to make and answer a statistical question. So my statistical question is, what is the average time a grade 6 student takes to get ready for school? Like, by get ready, I mean like shower, change, eat, breakfast, and like that. I'm not talking about taking the time going to school. Maybe some of you might get confused by that because my friend Peter is doing one like that, so it's a bit different. So now I'm going to talk about my statistical question. So in my statistical question, I would have to ask every single person in grade 6, like, what time they take to prepare for school. Well, there's only about like 29 people in grade 6, but then I just asked my sister to get 30 because we need at least 30 people for the big project. We need 30 people with 30 tally of data, I guess. So let's start. So in my big project, right, I'll tell you the methods or what I did for this big project. So first, of course, I was thinking about what question I made So I just thought, since a lot of people would be doing like Peter example, he did take, how long does it take to go to school? So I thought, but then that question is very common, so I thought I'll kind of find a more uncommon question, kind of, and I just thought of what time does it take to prepare for school before going in the car. So yeah. So first, well, after I finished making my question, of course, after I'm making my question, I went to ask everybody, well, my friends, not everybody, my friends, what time they prepared for school. A lot of them told me it was like 30 minutes, and that's like a lot of people. It might even be the average, I'm not sure yet. So I asked everyone. Some people had 5 minutes and 10 minutes. Marian, he took 5 minutes because he eats in his car, so that doesn't really count, I guess. So after I finish asking the people, I will go on GeoGebra. I do not really know how to pronounce it. I just call it GeoGebra. And I made like a box plot, histogram, and a dot plot with every single one of our numbers. But since like I'll make a list of numbers, I also found the median. We also need that. I found the median like after I made the list of numbers, so I searched for the median, lower quartile, upper quartile, lower extreme, upper extreme, or minimum and maximum. So then I had to make this document. Maybe you've already read it, I don't know. And now, after that, I'm done. But now I'm going to tell you the results of my big project. So in my big project, I had to make like a table, okay? So in my table, I had 3 different like, how do I say this? Rows? I think rows, yeah. So I had like 3 different rows. So first row is minutes. So I write down how many minutes it takes, like 0 to 5. I wrote it in increments of 10. So 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, etc., etc. So, and then I had to tally it up. Since I already wrote the numbers down for the people, right? I just had to count how many are then in the 0 to 10 area. So I counted 6 people that takes 0 to 10 minutes, 6 people for 11 to 20 minutes, 13 people for 21 to 30 minutes, and for 31 to 40 minutes, there is only one person. 41 to 50, one person too. But then it has a big, huge gap to 81 to 90 minutes, which is Idea. She took that time. One person again. But then it took another huge gap to 111 and 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. So 2 people took 2 hours. So the 90 minutes, you will know it's 1 hour 30 minutes, since each hour is 60 minutes, and 6 plus 3 is 9. So 1 hour 30 minutes. It was easy math. So, and then I went to GeoGebra and just basically made a box plot, histogram, and things like that. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, by the way, the total was 30, so I had enough people. Since I'm a kind of like a shy person, I would not really want to. I would much rather talk to my friends than, some people I would do not know. So, I made a histogram and a dot plot. So, when I looked at the data told me that it was skewed, like it was a skewed data, basically like a skewed table, because the center was not actually the center of the table was not actually in the center, but it was kind of at the side, and there were 2 outliers. The 2 people that had 2 hours. That took 2 hours, but I just included the outliers with them because I like to do that. I'd like to include the outliers too. So the data, as I said, is skewed, but it's positively skewed. So most people take about 10 to 30 minutes, but the average is actually like 30 minutes. So since I talked about that, I'm actually going to tell you like the mode, the mean, like that. The mode, which is the most repeated number, is 30. Yes, it's 30. Most people take 30 minutes. I told you 13 people took 30 minutes. 13 out of 50. 13 out of 30 is a little bit under half, but it's more than most of them. So the mean is 11. Well, we know that the mean is like the average, but you get it by adding up all the numbers and then dividing it by the amount of numbers, then you get the mean. So it's 11. It's kind of actually 11.4, but I just rounded it a bit. So then the median is 30, because the median is the middle in the list of numbers, and I listed it down, and the middle was 30. Oh, and by the way, when I listed it, it was from the lowest to highest. So then next is the range. The range is the maximum subtracted by the minimum, which is 115. The maximum was 120, and the minimum was 5. So 120 minus 5 is 115. But that's not it. So the minimum is 5. The maximum is 120. The upper quartile is 30, and the lower quartile is 15. On the lower ones, actually most of them were 10 to 15 minutes, but on the higher ones, most of them 30 to 102 hours. Basically 30 to 2 hours. So my conclusion is that, since I got all this data, my conclusion is that the average amount of time a grade 6 student takes to get ready for school is 30 minutes. Yes, some people can take more or less, but the average is 30 minutes. So, yeah. Actually, and my data, 50% or more people take about 30 minutes to get ready for school. So now I'm going to talk about the standards, the essential questions, I'm sorry. So the first question is, what did we learn? So in this quarter, we learned like one topic, which is a statistical question, like before the big project. One topic, but with a lot of different little things inside of it that kind of matter a lot. So in this quarter, we learned one topic with a lot of little things to learn inside it. In this quarter, we learned about statistical questions. Yeah, I told you that. We did not only learn about statistical questions though. Like I said, that is the main topic. We learned about median, means, range, mode, and things like that. So the next question is, how did you know you have learned this? I know I have learned this because I know how to identify a statistical question. I know what is a box plot, dot plot, and a histogram. I know what is a mean, median, mode, and range, and what are the differences between them. I can also show you. So, as everyone knows, a statistical question is a question with multiple different answers. But a normal question sometimes would mean like one immediate answer. For example, how tall is TT? It's not a statistical question because there is one answer and one answer only for the present time. Unless you wanted to ask how tall is TT between grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That might be a statistical question. I'm not sure. I think it was a statistical question. But that is not a statistical question because I only need to know TT's height. But how tall is everyone in grade 6 is a statistical question because there are multiple people to ask and collect data from. And we have to find like the average. So maybe the average would be like 150, I'm not sure. Yeah, because I'm not doing a statistical question. So, yeah, I know how to identify statistical questions. So, now I am going to talk about the charts. Well, there are 3 different charts that we've learned now. Even though I know one more, but I'm not really sure I'm not really fond to use it. It's the stem and leaf plot because I know what it is, but I don't really know how to use it. So, yeah. So, the 3 different charts are the box plot, or as you can say, a box and whisker plot, to be exact. And then there's a histogram, and then there's a dot plot. The box and whisker plot, that's what I'm going to tell you about first. It has a couple of different lines. So, there's like quadrants, kind of. They're not exactly quadrants, but they're like kind of, I guess you can call them like quadrants, I guess. I don't really know any more words that I can call them with, but it has a couple different lines, and in between those lines it's like 25%. So that's how I got my statistical question answer of like 50% of students take more than about 30 minutes. So I just got a box plot and I just measured it. So for the histogram is a graph most of you have probably seen. It has like at the bottom is the minutes. Example for me is how many minutes. So at the bottom I would write like 1 to 10 minutes, right? I mean 0 to 10 minutes. And then there will be the frequency at the side. So like maybe you would say 1 to 10 people. Like 1 is at the bottom, 10 at the top. So you would draw a line and graph it at the frequency of how many people actually did it. But for me, I did it like more than 10, so I had to do like 15. So yeah. So the dot plot is basically the same, but we just use dots instead of like the frequency and the lines. We just count how many people. So example, 0 to 10 minutes, there are 6 people, right? I'll just make 6 dots over there, like that. So the next one I can tell you is the mean, median, mode, range, and things like that. So the mean is the average, right? The mean is the average, but you get the mean by adding every single number that you have in your list up, but dividing it by how many numbers you have. So if you have like 10 numbers that has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you would add the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then after you get the answer, you divide the answer by 10 because you have 10 numbers. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I never thought of adding those numbers. So, well, the mode, as I told you already, is the most repeated number in the list. Yeah, for me it's 30 because I have like 13 people that repeated. That's the 13 people, right? And that's repeated the most. And then there is the what am I missing? I said mode. I think so. Oh yes, the median. So the median is the middle in a list of numbers. So example, you have 11 numbers. So you would cross out 1, 1, 1, 1, and you try to find the median. So yeah. So the range is the maximum number subtracted with the minimum number. Example, my maximum number is 20. My minimum number is 10. So it will be 20 minus 10 and you'll get the range. Yes. So then I'm going to tell you about the lower quartile, lower extreme, upper quartile, upper extreme, and the upper extreme. Well, those you could say is LQ, LE, UQ, and UE. Well, you will find out what it means. Suspensions. So it's supposed to be in a kind of like a list. The lower quartile would be like in between the median and the lower extreme, which is the minimum. It would be the middle in between those numbers, and that would be the lower quartile. The lower extreme is the minimum, upper extreme is the maximum, median is the middle, and the upper quartile is the middle in between the upper extreme and the median. So there is one last essential question. Why did we learn about statistical questions? Good question. So we learned this because we can find the average of things. We can find the average of how much money sales can make, and we can set goals to break through them. And maybe we can find out which, for example, in businesses, right? Maybe each month your sales are different. Maybe you can try to find the average in a year, and then you will try to like break through them. That could be your goal. But that might, because since I'm only at grade 6, that might be for like adults. But maybe for younger age people, maybe we can find the GPA for us each semester. Like, example, last quarter I got 3.7, but then in quarter 2 I got 3.4, and in quarter 1 I got 3.3. So then I could try to find the average of them, and I'll try to make it a goal to pass through. And well, basically you can make goals and find the average of things. That's what I'm trying to say. So that is it, and bye bye.